Every Hostess Sno Ball starts as a Hostess cupcake. Same chocolate cake batter, same cream filling, the exact formula that goes into Twinkies. 3 products that look nothing alike, all built from one recipe on one production line. But here is something that might surprise you. The entire difference comes down to a single step. The tray flips. The cupcake drops out upside down. Marshmallow coats it. Pink coconut covers it. And the pink was never a branding decision. It was most likely a cost-cutting shortcut from the 1960s. This is how one flip on a conveyor belt turns a cupcake into what looks like a completely different product. 1945. The war ends. Rationing on flour, sugar, and butter lifts almost overnight, and Americans want baked goods, cheap ones, wrapped ones, ones that do not go stale on a truck. Continental Baking Company, later known as Hostess, already has 2 hits. Cupcakes launched in 1919. Twinkies launched in 1930. Both sell well, but they look like what they are: small cakes in cellophane. In 1947, the company introduces Sno Balls. The original version is all white. White coconut over marshmallow over chocolate cake. No filling inside. It looks exactly like its name, a snowball. Then something else happened. In 1950, Hostess adds a vanilla creme filling to the snowball. Not a new formula. The exact same filling already running through the Twinkie and cupcake injectors. 3 products, 1 recipe. By the late 1950s, the company starts packaging 1 white and 1 pink snowball together for visual contrast. Within a decade, both go all pink. The reason is widely attributed to production efficiency. Running 1 dye color through the coconut line costs less than running 2. The iconic pink was not a branding decision. It was most likely a cost-cutting shortcut. The product has its shape. It has its color. The factory floor tells the rest. It starts with batter. Cocoa powder, flour, sugar, corn syrup, vegetable oil, eggs, combined in an industrial mixer. The factory moves through 17,000 pounds of cocoa powder every week. Each mixing cycle runs about 45 seconds. The result is a dark, pourable slurry, thick enough to hold shape in a mold. An automatic depositor system fills molds at a rate of more than 700 cakes per minute. Each nozzle delivers approximately 1.4 ounces of batter per deposit. The molds are filled only halfway. The rest is headroom for the rise. The molds enter a 4-zone oven, approximately 72 feet long. The pans travel in a serpentine zigzag path through all 4 heat zones. Total baking time, 14 minutes. The cakes come out and cool on racks for approximately 30 minutes. While the cakes bake, a parallel line prepares the filling: sugar, corn syrup, vegetable fat, vanilla flavoring, dried egg whites. The mixture is heated, emulsified, then homogenized with controlled air injection. That air is what gives it the signature light, fluffy texture, not whipped cream, not butter, just aerated fat and sugar held in suspension. This is the same formula used for cupcakes and for Twinkies. 1 filling, 3 products. Injection needles pierce each cooled cake and deposit approximately 1/3 of an ounce of cream into the center. Up to this point, you are looking at a Hostess cupcake. Same batter, same shape, same filling, same product. But here is the thing nobody tells you. The tray flips. The cakes drop out upside down. The domed top now faces the conveyor belt. The flat bottom faces up. That is the step. That single inversion is what transforms a cupcake into a snowball. A marshmallow coating comes next. Sugar, corn syrup, gelatin, and vanilla flavoring, kept warm and fluid in a heated reservoir. Nozzles spray it over each inverted cake. The coating is applied twice for full coverage. The marshmallow adds sweetness and chew, but it also serves a structural purpose. It is the glue. Pink-dyed, shredded coconut drops onto the cakes while the marshmallow is still tacky. The factory uses approximately 1 million pounds of coconut every year for snowballs alone. Hostess grinds their coconut finer than standard store-bought shredded coconut. That is what creates the smooth, uniform, fuzzy texture instead of the stringy threads you find in a bag at the grocery store. Same batter, same filling, same production line. Flip it, coat it, roll it in pink coconut. That is it. Hostess is not the only company selling a coconut-covered marshmallow ball. In Scotland, Tunnock has made its own version since 1954. Same concept, marshmallow and coconut on the outside, but a completely different product. Tunnock coats the exterior in chocolate, so the coconut appears brown, not pink. There is no cake layer inside, just marshmallow sitting on a thin biscuit base. No creme filling. 30 grams versus Hostess's 50. On the American East Coast, Tastykake sells its own version out of Philadelphia. Print magazine once described the difference plainly. Hostess tasted machine-made, while Tastykake tasted like it was baked fresh. 3 companies, 3 countries, 3 completely different products, all built on coconut and marshmallow. The one you picture when you hear the name depends entirely on where you grew up. Here is where the story flips. Every major holiday, Hostess releases a seasonal snowball. Green for St. Patrick's Day, orange and neon green for Halloween, branded glow balls, though a blogger tested them and confirmed they do not actually glow in the dark. Lavender for Easter, white for Christmas, returning to the original 1947 color. Red, white, and blue for the 4th of July. The production cost of each seasonal variant is virtually zero. Same line, same batter, same filling, same marshmallow. The only change is the dye in the coconut vat. But on the shelf, each one looks like an entirely new product. It creates limited edition urgency. It drives impulse purchases. Near zero cost difference. Maximum shelf impact. Try this. Next time you buy a snowball, peel the marshmallow and coconut away. Underneath is an upside-down Hostess cupcake. The dome shape is unmistakable once the coating is gone. 3 Hostess products, Twinkies, cupcakes, snowballs, are 3 variants from the same production foundation. Same batter, same cream filling. They differ in outer coating and orientation. That is not deception. That is industrial manufacturing logic at its most efficient. One honest caveat. Snowballs have never had their own mascot. Never had a standalone television campaign. When Hostess went public, the ticker symbol was TWNK, named after Twinkies. The product has survived nearly 80 years on visual curiosity alone. The pink, the fuzz, not marketing muscle. The pink was not a strategy. The shape was not a design. Both were production shortcuts that became identity. In Louisiana, a snowball means shaved ice drenched in sweet syrup, a completely different product. 25 million snowballs leave the factory every year, and most buyers have no idea there is a flipped cupcake inside. 3 products, 1 filling, 1 flip. That is all it takes to turn a cupcake into something you would never recognize. That is the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there is something you would like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.